Some achieve their dreams, while others give up quickly. The difference isn't luck, talent, or even motivation. It's consistency. Consistency means showing up every day, regardless of your feelings or circumstances. It's tough, which is why you must train yourself to act even when you don't want to. In this audiobook, you'll discover how to crush excuses, overcome resistance, and build a mindset of relentless discipline. If you're ready to stop restarting and commit to your goals, let's get started. Chapter 1: The Flickering Spark and the Enduring Flame. Jake slumped in his worn-out chair, staring at the blank notebook on his cluttered desk. The dim glow of a single lamp illuminated the room, casting long shadows across the walls. He'd been here before, brimming with excitement to write a novel, start a business, or hit the gym. Each time, the spark of motivation burned like a wildfire, only to fizzle out in days. "Why can't I stick with anything?" he muttered, running his fingers through his hair, frustration knotting his stomach. The silence of his apartment seemed to echo his self-doubt. Jake wasn't alone. Across town, Sarah laced up her running shoes in the pre-dawn chill, her breath visible in the crisp air. She didn't always feel like running. Some mornings, her bed called louder than her goals, but she stepped out anyway, her sneakers slapping the pavement in a steady rhythm. Then there was Michael, a writer who sat at his kitchen table every morning, penning one page even when the words felt heavy and uninspired. Neither waited for the perfect mood. They showed up, day after day, because they understood a truth Jake was just beginning to grasp. Motivation is a fleeting spark, but consistency is the flame that endures. Jake began experimenting. He committed to writing one sentence each morning, no matter how tired or uninspired he felt. At first, it was a slog. His sentences were clunky, his mind wandered. But over weeks, the habit took root. One sentence became a paragraph, then a page. The snowball of effort grew, gaining momentum. Each small act of showing up built self-trust, a quiet confidence that replaced his reliance on fleeting motivation. Jake wasn't just trying to write anymore. He was becoming a writer. Consistency, he realized, wasn't about emotions. It was a commitment, a non-negotiable promise to himself. By making writing a daily ritual, he turned a flickering spark into a steady, enduring flame. Chapter 2: Breaking Free from the Procrastination Trap. Emma's apartment buzzed with distractions. Her laptop screen glowed with social media notifications, a half-watched show played in the background, and her phone pinged relentlessly. She'd promised herself she'd start her business plan, but the cursor blinked mockingly on a blank document. "I'll do it tomorrow," she told herself, scrolling through another feed. Tomorrow became next week, then next month. Procrastination wasn't laziness. It was fear wearing a convincing mask. Fear of failure, fear of the task's enormity, fear of not being perfect enough. One evening, Emma sat down with a cup of tea and faced her fears. She learned procrastination thrived on overwhelm, so she shrank her tasks. Instead of tackling the entire business plan, she committed to writing one paragraph for 5 minutes. The timer ticked, and to her surprise, 5 minutes stretched into 30. Starting small dismantled the mental wall that kept her stuck. She set artificial deadlines, telling herself the paragraph was due by dinner. Urgency tricked her brain into action. Emma silenced her phone, closed unnecessary tabs, and cleared her desk, creating a sanctuary for focus. Perfectionism, she realized, was procrastination's sly accomplice. "Done is better than perfect," she whispered, letting go of the need for flawless work. She confided her goals to her friend Mia, who checked in weekly, making it harder to slack off. Emma surrounded herself with driven entrepreneurs at a local meetup, their energy contagious. When excuses like "I'm too tired" surfaced, she challenged them. "What's the worst that'll happen if I start now?" Most excuses crumbled under scrutiny. Each small action rebuilt her trust in herself, and soon, The cycle of procrastination lay broken at her feet. Chapter 3. Forging a Mind of Iron. Mark stood at the edge of his dream, a small business that could give his family a better life. But the path was daunting, and his discipline wavered. He envied those who seemed to glide through challenges with unshakable resolve. Then he learned a secret. Discipline wasn't a gift bestowed at birth. It was a muscle, one he could train. Mark's why was his anchor: financial freedom for his wife and kids. That purpose silenced the excuses that crept in on tough days. He started small, committing to 10 minutes of planning each morning before the world woke up. The kitchen clock ticked softly as he scribbled ideas, each minute strengthening his discipline. He removed distractions, silencing his phone and blocking social media during work hours. When his mind whispered, "Skip it today," he countered with a countdown: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Action sliced through hesitation like a blade. Mark reprogrammed his self-talk. Instead of "I'm not disciplined," he declared, "I'm someone who follows through." His actions began to mirror this new identity. He delayed instant gratification, choosing long-term wins over fleeting comforts like binge-watching shows. A journal tracked his progress, each checkmark a small victory that fueled his drive. His morning routine, coffee, planning, a brisk walk, set a disciplined tone for the day. An accountability partner, his friend Tom, checked in weekly, keeping him on track. Discipline, Mark discovered, wasn't a cage, it was a fortress, giving him control over his actions and his future. Chapter 4. Conquering the Invisible Enemy. Lila's studio smelled of paint and possibility, but every time she picked up her brush, resistance loomed like a storm cloud. Doubt whispered, "What if it's terrible?" Hesitation glued her feet to the floor. She realized resistance wasn't a flaw, it was a test, a sign her art mattered. To fight it, Lila shrank her tasks. Instead of aiming for a masterpiece, she sketched for 5 minutes, her pencil scratching softly against the paper. Starting small weakened resistance, and momentum carried her forward. She embraced discomfort, knowing her mind would quit before her talent did. Her phone stayed in another room, her studio a distraction-free haven. When resistance surged, she counted down: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Paint. Action drowned out doubt. Lila visualized the cost of inaction, missed exhibitions, unfulfilled dreams. It pushed her to move. She reframed her self-talk. "I can't" became "I'll figure it out." Painting became non-negotiable, like eating or sleeping. Small rewards, a cup of chamomile tea after a session, made pushing through enjoyable. Resistance never vanished entirely, but Lila learned to act faster than it could grow. Each brushstroke was a victory, proof she could conquer the invisible enemy and turn her passion into progress. Chapter 5. The Habit Blueprint. Tom's life felt like a treadmill stuck on repeat. He worked hard, but nothing changed. His apartment, cluttered with half-finished projects, mirrored his scattered efforts. Then he discovered the truth. Success wasn't about grand gestures, it was about the small habits he built every day. Tom started with 1 page of reading each night, the glow of his bedside lamp casting a warm circle over the book. It seemed insignificant, but over months he devoured entire shelves. Small habits compounded, like coins piling into wealth. He designed his environment for success: books on his nightstand, no junk food in the fridge. His routine became automatic, like brushing his teeth, eliminating the need to decide. At a local podcasting meetup, Tom met driven creators whose energy pushed him to level up. He replaced bad habits, like mindless scrolling, with journaling, each entry a step toward clarity. A habit tracker showed his progress, the streaks motivating him to keep going. A missed day didn't derail him. He jumped back in immediately. His habits aligned with his dream of launching a podcast. Each small action, Recording one episode, researching one topic, shaped his identity. Tom wasn't just trying, he was a podcaster. Habits, he realized, were the blueprint for the life he wanted to build. Chapter 6. Silencing the Inner Critic. Sophie's mind was her battlefield. Self-doubt screamed, "You're not good enough." Perfectionism paralyzed her, keeping her from starting her blog. Fear of failure loomed like a shadow. But she learned these were just thoughts, not truths, and she could fight back. Sophie acted despite doubt, writing one imperfect sentence instead of waiting for brilliance. Failure, she realized, was a teacher, not a verdict. Emotions, tiredness, frustration tempted her to skip, but she committed to action over feelings. Overthinking stalled her, so she focused on doing, not planning. Her desk became a distraction-free zone, her phone off, replaced by inspiring podcasts. She visualized herself succeeding, her blog thriving, reinforcing her commitment. A friend, Emma, held her accountable, texting weekly to check progress. Boredom threatened consistency, but Sophie embraced repetition, knowing mastery required it. A habit tracker charted her small wins, each post a step forward. She declared, "I'm consistent," and her actions aligned. Doubt lingered, but Sophie acted anyway, turning mental barriers into fuel for growth. Her blog grew, post by post, as she silenced her inner critic with action. Chapter 7. The Fortress of Discipline. David stood on the balcony of his small apartment, the city skyline a reminder of his dream, financial freedom for his family. Discipline seemed like a superpower others possessed, but he learned it was a skill he could forge. His why was his anchor, security for his wife and kids. That purpose made discipline a choice, not a burden. He started small, writing for 10 minutes each dawn, the quiet hum of the city grounding him. Consistency trumped intensity. He deleted distracting apps, his desk a sanctuary for focus. Promises to himself became sacred. Each kept promise built trust. Emotions didn't rule him. Discipline did. The 2-minute rule, start with 2 minutes, sparked momentum. David tracked progress, set deadlines, and enlisted Tom to check in. Routines simplified life, no decision fatigue. Discomfort signaled growth, not defeat. He visualized his disciplined self, rewarding wins with a favorite coffee. Driven colleagues at a co-working space elevated his standards. Discipline wasn't a cage, it was a fortress, giving David control over his actions and his future. Chapter 8. Rising from the Ashes of Setbacks. Mia's heart sank as the investors rejected her pitch, their polite smiles stinging more than words. The conference room felt suffocating, her dreams crumbling. But Mia learned setbacks didn't define her, her response did. Instead of dwelling, she accepted the failure, took a deep breath, and focused on the next step. She acted immediately, tweaking one slide that night in her hotel room. Failure wasn't her identity. She separated her emotions from the event. Reframing it as a lesson, she asked, "What can I improve?" Taking responsibility without self-blame empowered her. Mia avoided all-or-nothing thinking. One flop didn't mean quitting. She set a small goal, refined one section. Momentum returned. Friends offered support, their encouragement a lifeline. Tracking small improvements kept her motivated. Mia adapted her approach, staying firm on her goal. Setbacks proved she was pushing limits. Each recovery built resilience, showing she could handle anything. The sting of rejection faded, replaced by a fire to keep going. Setbacks were temporary. Mia's persistence was permanent. Chapter 9. Mapping the Path to Progress. Alex's gym bag sat untouched in the corner of his room, a silent reminder of his stalled fitness goals. He felt like he was spinning his wheels until he started tracking his progress. A simple journal transformed his journey. Each check mark for a workout showed he was moving forward, even when progress felt invisible. Tracking made effort tangible. Alex logged every set, seeing small gains stack up. It kept him accountable. Skip days glared back, pushing him to stay consistent. Patterns emerged. Mornings were his peak energy time. Adjusting his schedule boosted results. Tracking turned goals into a game, each checkmark a win that fueled motivation. Celebrating small victories, a completed workout, a heavier lift, kept him engaged. Tracking revealed what worked, letting him refine his routine. It reduced stress, showing how far he'd come. By measuring effort, not just results, Alex stayed disciplined. Success became a science, not a gamble, as tracking mapped his path to a stronger, healthier self. Chapter 10. The No Excuses Revolution. Rachel strummed her guitar, the notes clumsy and off-key. "I'm too busy," she told herself, setting it down. Excuses felt valid, but they chained her to mediocrity. She realized winners don't justify inaction, they act. Rachel took responsibility, refusing to blame her packed schedule. Her brain offered excuses. "I'm tired. I'll start tomorrow." She challenged them. "Is this true?" Most fell apart. Instead of "I don't have time," she asked, "How can I make time?" 5 minutes of practice became her start. At a music meetup, she met action takers whose drive inspired her. Practice became non-negotiable, like eating. Rachel tracked excuses, noticing she often blamed fatigue. Reframing obstacles as challenges, she asked, "How can I improve?" Each rejected excuse built willpower. Visualizing the regret of inaction, never playing a song, pushed her forward. Excuses were comfortable but led to regret. By choosing action, Rachel started a revolution in her life, proving she was stronger than any excuse. Chapter 11. The Alchemy of Repetition. Clara's camera sat dusty on her shelf, her dream of mastering photography fading. Then she learned mastery wasn't talent, it was repetition. Each photo she took, even the blurry ones, strengthened her skills. The quiet click of her shutter became a rhythm of progress. Clara embraced the boredom of practicing basics. Lighting, angles, editing. The 10,000-hour rule showed mastery took time. Each shot built confidence, reduced hesitation, and refined her craft. She tracked her photos in a notebook, seeing improvement over months. Mistakes faded with practice. Her studio a distraction-free haven. Repetition rewired her mindset. She saw herself as a photographer. It built mental toughness, letting her push through fatigue. Clara's small efforts compounded, leading to breakthroughs. A local gallery noticed her work. Mastery wasn't a mystery. It was relentless repetition. By showing up daily, Clara turned her passion into expertise, proving repetition was the alchemy of greatness. Chapter 12. Consistency without the spark. Ethan jogged through the park, his breath steady despite the drizzle. Some days, motivation surged, others, it vanished. But he learned success wasn't about feeling inspired, it was about showing up. Commitment, not emotion, drove results. Running became non-negotiable, like brushing his teeth. He used the just start rule. 5 minutes of jogging often became 30. Resistance was normal, but Ethan pushed through, knowing it got easier. He saw himself as consistent, his actions aligning. A habit tracker charted his runs, streaks fueling momentum. Small steps, a short jog on tough days, kept overwhelm at bay. A running buddy held him accountable, and a clear desk eliminated distractions. Ethan rewarded himself with a post-run smoothie, reinforcing the habit. He reframed running as a privilege, not a chore. Even on low-energy days, a short run beat nothing. Consistency turned Ethan's small steps into a marathon of progress, proving he could keep going without the spark. Chapter 13. The Magic of Small Wins. Sophie's blog was a dream that felt out of reach, its scope overwhelming. Then she learned big success was built on small wins. Each post, no matter how short, was a victory. The quiet tap of her keyboard became a symphony of progress. Small wins created momentum. Sophie celebrated every post, her confidence growing. The compound effect turned tiny efforts into exponential growth. One post a day became a thriving blog in a year. Breaking tasks into small steps, write one paragraph, edit one sentence, made starting easy. Habits, not motivation, drove her forward. Tracking her posts showed progress, keeping her motivated. Sophie's identity shifted. She was a blogger, not just trying. Each win reduced fear, making big goals feel possible. Repetition turned effort into habit, her routine automatic. Small wins built resilience. Setbacks became minor detours. Sophie's blog grew, post by post, proving that small daily wins stacked into massive transformations. Chapter 14. Crafting a World for Success. Tom's apartment was chaos. Cluttered desks, buzzing notifications, and negative friends drained his energy. His podcasting dreams stalled until he realized his environment shaped his success. To change his life, he had to change his surroundings. Tom joined a podcasting group, their ambition contagious. He distanced himself from complainers, their negativity fading. Books replaced junk food in his kitchen. His phone stayed off during work. His tidy desk became a creativity hub. Podcasts from successful creators filled his ears, their wisdom shaping his mindset. His morning routine, coffee, journaling, a walk, set a focused tone. Tom minimized toxic environments, spending more time in inspiring spaces like co-working hubs. His digital feeds became a source of education, not distraction. By surrounding himself with doers, Tom made consistency effortless. His environment became a silent force, propelling him toward his podcasting dreams. Chapter 15. The Mindset That Changes Everything. Lila stood before her easel, doubt creeping in. What if I'm not good enough? Her mind whispered. Then she learned, success wasn't just action, it was mindset. Her thoughts shaped her reality, and she could rewrite them. Lila adopted a growth mindset, believing she could improve with effort. She reframed painting as a privilege, not a burden. Failure became a lesson, not a defeat. Instead of waiting for confidence, she acted, and confidence followed. Excuses like "I'm too busy" were replaced with "How can I make time?" Challenges became opportunities to grow. She stopped seeking approval, painting for herself. Gratitude transformed her outlook. She was thankful for each brushstroke. Lila surrounded herself with inspiring artists, their mindset elevating hers. Taking responsibility for her results, she stopped blaming circumstances. Her mindset shifted from fear to possibility, unlocking a world where success was inevitable. Lila's canvas became a testament to the power of thought. Chapter 16. The Lifelong Dance of Consistency. Jake, Emma, Mark, Lila, Tom, Sophie, Mia, David, Rachel, Ethan, Clara, Alex. Their stories converged on one truth. Consistency was the heartbeat of success. They weren't the most talented or lucky. They were the ones who kept showing up. Motivation faded, but their commitment endured, a steady pulse through every challenge. Each built habits that aligned with their dreams. Jake wrote daily, his novel taking shape. Emma's business plan grew, paragraph by paragraph. Mark's discipline turned dreams into reality. Lila's paintings filled galleries. Tom's podcast found listeners. Sophie's blog inspired thousands. Mia's pitches won investors. David's business thrived. Rachel played songs. Ethan ran marathons. Clara mastered photography. Alex grew stronger. They tracked progress, removed distractions, and embraced small wins. Setbacks tested them, but they rose, resilient. Their environments supported their goals. Their mindsets fueled their actions. Consistency wasn't about perfection. It was about showing up, even when it was hard, even when no one watched. Their secret: they refused to quit. Each small step compounded, turning dreams into reality. Consistency became their superpower, a lifelong dance of discipline and determination. They learned that success wasn't a destination, it was a journey, built one relentless, unwavering step at a time.